All right, y'all. Do a quick little morning. Digital journal here. The effects of hybrid, we say. So now, I can kind of tell you my experience on what's going on now. When I was hybrid, I used to be able to kind of, take care. I get my work done. But when I was remote, I'd be able to, kind of take care of stuff. I get some work done. If I need to just, run up and just do like a quick little, all of those things you can't do now. You have to spend a lot more time in your day. Now, some might say you going back to the old normal world, right? You're coming back to the normal world. And what I mean by the normal world is just the regular smuggler. You do your work, you do your job, and all of that. And you handle all appointments, whether you take PTO or whatever the case may be. You handle all appointments after work, or you work it around it. Where I live, it's easier for my son's appointments and everybody's appointments is all in one area. It's all in one area. So if I gotta just take a little lunch break, you can't do that on site, especially in the domain that I'm in. So that's where we talked about that control effort. Remember, I was supposed to be hired for hybrid. That was part of the deal. We agreed that it would be a hybrid situation. That's why I signed on. And to come to find out, then it's different. Now, once they made it to where they're like, well, you could come in 4 hours, and then sometimes you could. That's not a hybrid schedule to me. Hybrid means you're working remote some days and you're working on site some days. That's what hybrid is. Not working no half day where you got to take a 2-hour express ride. That's not hybrid. When they start playing games like that, well, you could do a half day in office, and then now you got to, well, express bus don't come till damn near at the end of the damn day. So now you want me to spend 2 hours, you might as well just stay your ass at work. You see what I'm saying? So they play little games like that. They do that little BS. So if you're working hybrid, if you're trying to get up out of somewhere, and see, that's why I always talk to you guys about not staying on the help desk. You don't want a help desky ass job where where you're anchored and you're nailed to that desk. No, you don't want that, because see, what it is people get overly familiar with you. They get overly controlling, in a sense. And now every time you're sitting there, they have their leisure. It's a high visibility, so they have their leisure to run up on you, making demands and questioning. Like I told you, the power back is going back into the dominant society's hands, because you're present, you're there. Now, some people would say, well, you're supposed to be there at work. Yeah, you are. But now, if you could do your work, like I said, if you could do your exact work, and like I said, this is a white lady that was telling me some of this stuff, like, man, I'm about ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just black folks too. Black folks can get directly undermined by the hands of the dominant society. But now, you got some white people up in there too that's like, hey man, like, my drive is ferocious in the morning. I don't want to drive all the way from damn St. Michael's or damn near Duluth to go to work. And furthermore, they shouldn't. Man. If you could do your due diligence, right, in an easier area. And so for me, I was calculating, when I take time off to go to the doctor, I got an appointment for my child or whatever the case may be, what I'll do is I'll take half days. I'll do what I need to do and then come in. But if that appointment's at 8, 9 o'clock, then I get there sometimes damn near 1. And sometimes I take like a 4-hour of my little sick time, my PTO. The agency calls it something different. They don't call it PTO, they call it sick time. So you just take your time. But it's not a lot of time. You get maybe 1 hour every 30 hours. So I really got to break it up and divvy it up because otherwise it's going to affect me. So now what happens is they got these little BS holidays. You don't get paid for that. And they don't let you make up the work. They don't let you do a 410. And I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? But they don't let you do that. So that's another thing they didn't tell me right off the jump. Because had I would have known a lot of these different things, I would have went a different route. You see what I'm saying? So now what I gotta do is I gotta say, if you're getting, let's just say, hypothetically, let's say you're getting $50 or $60 an hour. Let's just say that. Let's just say you're getting $50 or $60 an hour. I won't say how much I make, but let's just say that I'm getting $60 an hour. Okay? So now, if I'm doing a half day, what's 4 hours times 60? You're not getting the whole 8 if you don't acquire the PTO. Let's say you break down your sick time or your PTO time. So if I'm getting 4 hours times 60, how much is that? Everybody do the math with me. So, all right. So now you got 4 hours unaccounted for. Because it may take me, once I get into the city, the express bus is no more. I'll park my car one place, hop out, and then jump on the bus. Because I don't want to, downtown is $12. That's lunch. I don't want to pay lunch all the time. The lady the other day told me she paid damn near $40 for parking. Because she said that's the only place she feels safe. I'm like, damn, these folks don't feel safe down here. I said, okay. So, I feel safe wherever I go. Because I keep the battery shotgun in Bethlehem too. So I'm not worried about my safety or whatever like that. If a dude makes me feel unsafe, I'm going to make the atmosphere unsafe. If I feel unsafe and I feel threatened, then I'm going to make his hospital bill feel threatened. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think about my safety far as out and about, walking around really like that. I've never really felt where I would felt like, but this is a woman here. So, I understand. She's not trying to pull out the Action Bronson. She's not really trying to pull out the battery sock and go to, me, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Someone threatened me, I'm pulling the battery sock out. Knock the, give them Looney Tune thoughts, like the cartoons. So, but now add on to that. If you're coming in and you're driving in and you just want to be able to drive in and just drive right back out, okay, now you got to add that $20 a day or whatever the case may be. But see, now it costs me time if I'm taking half a day because I can't work remote. I'm taking half a day and then my 4 hours is just gone. Because they lied and said it was going to be hybrid. My 4 hours is just gone. And so what frustrated me was I was thinking, well, maybe I could just do what I do. I could just hop, but see, it takes 2 hours. It literally takes 2 hours to get. It takes 2 hours to get downtown St. Paul and then hopping on the train. The whole process is about a 2-hour process. And then you got niggas acting a fool on the train. Sometimes they'll stop the train. You'll have a triple belly shower hat, track phone wearing, you know what I'm saying? Or you'll have that, they'll stop the train. Or they'll have to call the police or whatever like that because these Negroes don't know how to conduct themselves on the train. You see what I'm saying? So Sometimes that'll break up my time a little bit every now and then. No smoking on the train. They won't cut their music down. These grown men now. These ain't no little teenagers doing this. These grown ass men. These niggas in their 25, 30, 40 years old. These grown ass niggas doing this. I'm telling you, I'm about to get some footage next time. And if they try to say, oh man, you can't record me, bro, we got a battery sock now. Sit your unemployed ass down. I'm gonna record one of these. Y'all gotta see it. Y'all won't believe it. So that might cut into some time. And I realized, I said, well, damn, I'm not using my math correctly. If I'm taking time off, if whether it's an appointment, an interview, or whatever like that, by the time I get to my car and do what I do, like the day when I took the Maybach interview, you know, it took that whole day. I took a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? I went to go get a haircut, and then by the time I got in for work, you know what I'm saying? Like it was almost damn 2 o'clock, because the time that it takes to get to these places. So, because I had to park my car one way and then jump on the truck. I said, man, I'm paying more money taking time off to travel and move around, avoiding paying the damn $13. And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, DP, you a damn fool. You sitting around here trying to avoid paying the parking when you could have just drove in just for that day. It ain't got to be all the time. And really, when I looked at it, I said, well, hell, $13 versus $60 an hour. That's 4 hours at 60. So I'm spending $300 by not paying parking. You know, that's how I start to kind of think over time. So I added all this up. Now, sometimes, you know, you use the sick time. Sometimes you use the sick time. But I start to kind of think to myself, I said, what the hell am I doing? Math, as you can see, was not that. Yeah, well, that was not my best subject. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. This is basic arithmetic here. Time is money, is what I'm saying to y'all when I figure this out. Time is fucking money. Pardon my French. Pardon my French and Creole. Time is money. So if you're spending X amount of time to get this, get here and there, and then, you know, sometimes it will be a little therapeutic for me to take some of that time off, because, you know, you get sick of being around them folks in the office, man. They just be sitting around, you get, you know, and you get micromanaged to the T. And sometimes that 4 hours, I'm like, okay, I got to deal with these folks. I got to deal with these folks just a couple hours a day. So I got to charge that to the game a little bit too. But now, I'm telling you, man, me taking that time, and there was a couple days off because I went camping and stuff like that. But other than that, man, me taking that time, like, if you got to go get an interview, just do the parking. Just park and pay the even if it's $20. Hell, even if it was $40, I'm losing per hour. If I'm losing $60 per hour, if I'm not using it on sick time, I'm still spending more money by not driving in. Because you remember, you got to add 2 hours. If I got 2 hours worth of duties, like, okay, my son had a school appointment. That comes at 9 o'clock. That comes at 9 o'clock. But I'm not logged in. So what I might start doing, I'm about to test the water. I'm going to say, hey, I got an appointment. I'm going to I'm going to bring my laptop, and I'll be in at noon, but I'm gonna log in at home. That way I get my hours, so I can check my emails and I could do my diligence, see what. But what they might try to say is, well, do you have anything to do? Well, hell, when you're at work, I don't mind. When you're working from home, I don't monitor you. I can't monitor what you're doing. You might get an email, that's work. If I reply to something, that's work. But I suspect that they're gonna try to play that, well, you don't have an actual project. Hey, if I get an email, damn it, I'm doing the same thing. The same thing I do at work. I'm sitting there at the chair. What it is they want you to be available for their bidding. Even if you don't have anything out of the scope. I deploy the machines, and I might do the project work for moves in iMac. That is all. I don't do anything else. So I'm literally sitting there waiting for these people to give me more to do. There's nothing I can do. And I said, I'm not gonna fucking volunteer. You see what I'm saying? So that's the effects of hybrid. When you're remote, and people think, well, you're trying to just slack off. Most of these folks, I hear people at work, they be like, man, I be watching Netflix when I ain't got nothing to do. Because they didn't complete their work. And when they get to work, they just gonna be sitting on their phone because they completed their work. You see what I'm saying? So, but the work gonna get done with me. I'm diligent about doing the work. The work is gonna get done. So that myth about people not working or doing this, the same dude that was telling me that, he's sitting around playing with his phone for 3-4 hours because he ain't got nothing to do and getting paid. But there's literally nothing to do. And he got to the point where he was like, man, I'm so bored. I'll do anything. Just have me break down boxes, send me down to the warehouse. I'm bored as hell. You know? So now you get to finding what they call busy work. You start making some shit to do that there's nothing to do. But you start making something to do. But now, that's the hybrid effect for me. I'm gonna name this the hybrid effect. I'm not enthused about somebody telling you something and then it don't happen. Y'all know that's not what I do. You know, like when somebody says something's gonna happen, man, that need to happen. So yeah, like I can now that I got that basic arithmetic figured out, now what I could do is I could say, anytime that an interview comes up, I'm gonna take my car and I might bring my laptop, because y'all know I like to record, you know, the stuff too. I'll bring my laptop and then maybe I could just run out to my car, throw my interview clothes on, you know. Because I don't wear interview clothes to work, because I don't need people knowing I'm interviewing. I don't. You know, there's nothing they could really do. You know, they could try to let you go or whatever like that. There ain't really much they could do. There's a bus stop right there. I guess I could just jump on. All right, y'all. See y'all in a minute.